What's up, people? This is the Vinyl Casket, home to the lamest taste. You can check me out on Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube, all at the Vinyl Casket. It's all one word. We can subscribe, like, and comment. Hit the bell for much more. We are going to get into it. This is our kind of late, but I had some stuff going on. Weekly comic book review. So if you don't know how we do it, every single week on Wednesdays, we get our books. We bring them home, we read them, we bag and board them, we take pictures in the light box for the Instagram over at the Vinyl Casket with little mini write-ups about how the series is doing, artwork, all sorts of that. But then we sit down here in front of the camera and we review these things live for you guys. We go indie, Marvel, DC every single week. We rate them 1 through 10, and at the end I give you like a top 5, top 3, depending on how many books I have on my pull list that week. If you're interested in other weeks that I've done in the past, you can check out the playlist, weekly comic book reviews. I've done almost about every single week for like the past 3 years. If you're also interested, you can check out I don't know if I have a playlist for it, but there's other videos on the channel of the weekly roundup and 1 month later, which are podcast shows that I used to do on a weekly, monthly basis with a bunch of guys on YouTube and Instagram that talk about comic books. We don't do them anymore, but you can check out the Keeg Show on Twitch for weekly comic book shows like that. But that being said, let's get right into it. We're starting off with 2 books from Image, and that's the only indies I think we have this past week. We have issue 2 of The Sacrificer. I believe this is the A cover, but I could be wrong. But this is awesome. This series is awesome. And the first issue opened up with all these questions, this kind of setup of this family having to give up their oldest son or whatever and stuff like that, right? But we never really get any reasoning why. We just kind of get this big setup and this emotional lead off into the series. This issue kind of pulls us around this whole world, and we get to see all these different aspects and these different different micro societies in this huge, massive, mystical world. And we get to see all these different viewpoints of what the sacrifice kind of mythology here represents for all these different places and people. And we get this one faction of people that are like, it means this is great magic like thing, we're gonna go to this amazing heavenly world, and there's all these doubts and these different tier levels of hierarchy and society, and eventually you get to the end, and I didn't see that coming at all. I really thought it was going to be something weird. Like, I didn't know if it was going to be death or if it was going to be weird or if this is just going to be one group of people we see get sacrificed and then we go into the next and like someone related to them is like, we got to stop this. That's where I kind of, my head with space was. But no, it goes complete 360 and it takes the most like weird thing they could have done, which is they turn this dark lead into this like wild like fantasy, but like how much do I trust it? I don't know. Definitely check it out. Sacrificers, Image Comics. We're only on issue 2. It's amazing. Artwork is great. I'm gonna give that an 8 out of 10. I think this is one of my favorite books of the week. Really, like, I was excited for it, but it really just overperformed. Okay. Also from Image, we have also issue 2. This is Pure Evil. I feel like this one took a little longer to come out since the first issue, but awesome variant cover, and I'm really happy with this story. The artwork is great. The storytelling is weird, but in a really fun way. And just the way the story just changed up, where I didn't think that her best friend crush boy was gonna fall into like the cursed spell like all the others. I thought it was just gonna be them against everybody else, but he turned, so I didn't see that coming. I probably should have, but I just didn't. But I really enjoyed this whole issue, and I don't want to spoil too much because it is a lot to explain and it is very weird, but we get a good amount of origin story here, and it just feels like I'm way deeper in the series than just 2 issues. So I'm also going to give this an 8 out of 10. Image does an amazing job every week. I feel like they put out some of the best comics Now we're gonna dive into Marvel. We only have one book. This is issue 33 of the Amazing Spider-Man variant cover, and just the Craven storyline that we've been getting with Goblin Queen leading into this. Norman Osborn's heavily involved. Somehow we get the black suit. I think I gotta reread this because I just don't think I fully formed like my connection to what was going on, but it was like a really fast paced, really well dialogued, like the art style was pretty solid. I did enjoy this issue, but there was a couple things that I felt like were just paced so quickly that I just didn't fully connect. Like I understood, but like I still am questioning it as I'm like thinking back. Really solid issue. This run has been pretty solid. I know a lot of people want to hate on it because this artwork and this storyline, nothing's happening, but I've pretty much enjoyed this run. So I'm gonna say 7 out of 10 for this issue. I would suggest reading this run. It is pretty deep in now with 33 issues, and it does connect back to a lot of Nick Spencer stuff and what was the other foundation that there was, whatever the last run was. It connects into a lot of that stuff, but it's really good. Moving on to DC, we have a lot of DC. So with the last overarching DC crossover event just ending, it was cool. I didn't really read that much. The theme and the concept wasn't for me. I didn't feel like I read a lot of the lead in into it. It just kind of happened. But now we have two titles that were kind of like slowed down on their release because they were coming out quickly and then they were out for like 2 months. They're back. And then we have 3 number ones this week, as well as Batman, which is going into its own little event. So we're going to start off with issue 4 of Steelworks. I said Steel. Steelworks, issue 4. I don't like this cover. I didn't like any of the variant covers either. That's one big like flaw for me. If the covers aren't great, that like really turns me off. Internal artwork is fine, standard for DC. I really enjoy this storyline, and I like where we're going. I just feel like this story has been kind of prolonged a little bit more. I feel like 4 issues we should be further than where we are. I could be like just saying that because I have a sour taste in my mouth, but I did enjoy it. It is fun, but I just feel like we stretched out this story so far to 4 issues when it could have been 2, and we could still be on the storyline just further along, because I feel like we still have a ton of work to get to an ending point for this story. I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10. We're going to move on to issue 3 of Shazam. This is the cardstock cover. Really happy this is back. Wonky series. Alien dinosaurs with top hats, talking tigers. We got monkeys from space. We got gods tricking people into stuff. Him having multiple personality disorder with his powers. All sorts of weird stuff. His family being upset they don't have powers anymore. All sorts of weird stuff going on. But artwork is pretty solid. The story's been kind of fun. I hope we move forward in some of these storylines, some of these plots that we've been laying out. I hope they move forward a little bit. I like the point where he was like avoiding being the captain. I also don't like that he calls himself the captain now. But it is what it is. It was cool. I liked it. I'm going to give this a 7 out of 10. All right, moving on to the number ones. We're going to start off with what I thought was the weakest one, but all 3 of these I think I'm going to pick up issue 2. So we're going to go with issue 1 of Birds of Prey. This is the standard A cover. I like this team, and I like how this issue is just basically a rounding the team up kind of thing, and starts off with Black Canary talking to Green Arrow, trying to figure out what direction she was gonna go, and how she needs to rescue her sister, and how she's not allowed to call Barbara, the original Batgirl, who's like usually the go-to for everybody's female team. And I'm trying to figure out like why does it have to be females, and then the whole Themyscira like plot at the end makes sense. But I liked the building of the team. I did not like the artwork. That was a huge turn off for me. I understand, I think, what they're doing. I just didn't like it. But I like the story and I like the issue, so I'm going to give this a 7.5 out of 10. We're going to move on to issue number 1, variant cover of Fire and Ice. This is, what is it? Welcome to Smallville. I like this. This was fun. It was campy. It was well drawn. The art was great. The small amount of fight scenes we got were cool. Fire's power sets are great. Superman being in and out of this was awesome. I really enjoyed this. This is like a very down to earth, fun series. It seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. It looks like they're building around the community here. I really enjoyed this. I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. Moving on, we also have issue 1 of Blue Beetle. So this is a continuation of Blue Beetle Graduation Day, which I really like. This is the cardstock cover as well. I had a lot of fun with that series, and this is taking right off of that. Him and his friends transferred to the same college. He has 2 other Beetles working with him now. Ted Kord is doing his thing. Ted Kord gets confronted by another Beetle that we don't know about, so that's going to be cool. I know we're going to Scare Wars, I think is the storyline here, which I'm really excited to see him and his 2 new friends that are all Scarab users taking on more Scarab users in this big, between like the Reach and, what were they called? There was something else they were called, these new Scarabs. But I'm excited to see how this plays out and where they go with this. Really good issue. I'm going to give this a 8 out of 10 as well. I had a lot of fun. Now we move on to the last issue of the week. We have issue 137 of Batman. This is part of the Dawn of DC. It is also the second part of the Gotham War, which is this whole big thing happening between Catwoman and Batman, because different ideologies and stuff, and obviously they have relationship tension. But this issue really depicts Batman as going off the walls. He has been going through a lot the last couple months with Failsafe, then going into this other world and having to deal with all that drama and coming back, and now he feels like everyone's against him and he's trying to take everybody out. He's going the most aggressive but like passive route possible. It's very strange, but like the Bat family at this point has to like turn on him, and Catwoman has employed Red Hood to try to take him on. Like, so many cool aspects here, and I can't wait to see where they go with this. This has been awesome. I'm gonna give this an 8.5. I clearly think that this was a great book and a great storyline, and I've been enjoying Batman. I kind of hit some slow, like, spread out spots, but honestly, it was a lot of fun. It was really good, and I can't say more about it. So with that being said, I have all these books. I'm going to quickly give you guys a top 5. It's kind of wild to me because I feel like my top 5 is almost biased. Because there were so many DC books this week and like no Marvel, and that always hurts my soul. So we'll go with number 5 is gonna be Fire and Ice. I really had a great time reading this. I'm gonna go Pure Evil at 4, Blue Beetle at 3, Sacrificers at 2, and then pick of the week had to be Batman. I just thought it was a great book. I just thought it was a great issue, and I'm really enjoying the storyline. With that being said, guys, remember, this is the home to lamest taste. You can check me out on Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube, all at The Vinyl Casket, where you can subscribe, like, and comment, hit the bell for much, much more. Do me a massive favor. Follow that stuff. Check out the playlist. We do a ton of stuff every single week, and do me the biggest favor, actually, and I need you all to stay lame.